What is up, my geeks and freaks? Big Girl Geek here with a brand new review. And today I'm here to review the season finale of Supergirl. Y'all know what time it is. It's time for the Geek
3, 2, 1.
Alright, I know I've been a couple episodes behind on this channel with Supergirl, but I am caught up basically on what is going on and what has happened on Supergirl. So sorry that I haven't been posting on the channel. It's like I see the views, but not too many people comment. So I was like, I don't know if people are really following the Supergirl content that I'm putting out. So I did stop for like a couple weeks, and then some people were like, hey, what happened to Supergirl? I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know y'all was watching it. Well, not watching it, but I didn't know y'all was like coming to the channel for it. You were here for it. So I really do appreciate that. So you know what I'm saying? Just let me know, like, hey, this is what's up in the comments. And then, you know, I know I'm also very, very far behind on Doom Patrol, but I'm trying to catch up. Summer's about to start, so all the shows are off, all the CW shows are off, so I have plenty of time to catch up on Doom Patrol. I wanted to start Krypton. I saw that on the app, so I'm getting there. But I'm also planning for like a family vacation for my birthday this August, so I've been very busy. But anyway, all that to say, we're here for Supergirl. That's what you're here for. So I'm just gonna do a quick kind of almost seasonal recap for this instead of just also. I mean, I'm gonna talk about this episode too, but instead of just only talk about this episode, I'll throw in some what I felt about the season as a whole. So, I mean, we can also just call this maybe like the season review of Supergirl, which is season, oh my god, what season are we on, like 4? I forgot at this point. It's all blending in. All the CW shows are blending in, and then Batwoman's about to start, so I'm all over the place. So, okay, we're coming to start this fall. Speaking of which, I hope we do get some Supergirl and Batwoman crossovers. I like their chemistry in the Elseworlds crossover, so I'll kind of start with that. And I think, I don't know, I'm feeling it. I kind of want to see her hopefully cross over and somehow make it to Kara's Earth. Now, also with the crossover, it's set up for Crisis. I saw this episode, Supergirl, where the Monitor is just all over the place on CW. He didn't make an appearance on The Flash, but he was on Arrow, of course, and on Supergirl, did he bring Lex Luthor back to life? That's what we're assuming, that he brought Lex Luthor back to life. And is going to be using him heavily in Crisis, which I don't know how I feel about, because I don't know how I really feel about Jon Cryer. I mean, I guess he was okay, but he still wasn't what I pictured. I mean, he was, in the first couple episodes I was feeling him, and then I kind of was just like, I don't really know. It kind of got to be a little too cheesy for me personally. So I don't know. Let's see what his role is in Crisis, if it's going to be, is he going to be taking a role of someone else, like in the comics? Is it going to be comic book accurate? What's going on? We'll see what kind of role they give him, because sometimes, you know, on the CW they do change up. They'll give one character the story of another character that was in the comics. So we'll see how they handle that next season. Kara fighting herself as the Red Daughter. I've said this in previous reviews. If they were going to do Red Daughter this season, I really don't understand why they did last season's crossover, Crisis on Earth X, why they had a doppelganger Kara, because we saw her fight an evil version of herself. Even though Red Daughter wasn't kind of evil, she was just a product of Lex Luthor. But we saw her fight herself. We saw her win. We saw her win again. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Maybe if they would have did something different with Crisis on Earth X and then did Red Daughter, I maybe would have had a different feeling about it. I just didn't think that was necessary. I don't know. It just wasn't. It wasn't. I don't even want to say necessary. It just wasn't. It didn't give me my life because I've seen her fight herself already. If I'm making sense, if you understand what I'm trying to say, like, it was just like, okay, well, you know, I've seen this. Repeat. You know, rinse, wash, repeat, and whatever. I kind of missed Win this season. I think Win was needed. This was the first season without him, right? I kind of missed him. And I know Brainiac took it over. I don't know how I feel about Brainiac. He's kind of annoying a little bit. Evil Brainiac was cool because that's what we were used to seeing. Some version of Evil Brainiac. And then we all know that Brainiac and Supergirl are comic book canon, and I kind of want that, so I don't understand the relationship with Nia. And maybe because I'm a type of geek that kind of like comic book accuracy to a point. I mean, I can deviate a little bit, but I like comic book accuracy. And I don't really know how I feel about him and Nia. No, because I kind of just want him and Kara to be together, because that's how they are in the comics. So I don't know. He's kind of annoying me a little bit. Now, Alex's whole story this season, She's starting to date James's sister. So I thought that was that's going to be a nice little couple to root for next season. But I kind of like how she really wasn't defined the whole season by a relationship, and she kind of had some separate little story arc going with handling the DEO and being loyal to Kara until she lost her memory. And thank God this last episode, season finale, she got her memory back kind of naturally, if you will, and she remembered, and that was a sweet moment. Kara and Alex's relationship to me is the heart of Supergirl, very much so how Barry and Iris's relationship is the heart of the show for the Flash. And for Supergirl, I believe it's Kara and Alex. So that was great. That was a nice way to wrap that up. John's story was very much all over the place. If you watch my previous reviews of the season's episodes, very all over the place. Didn't understand it. Didn't really understand his whole thing with Manchester Black. Was that supposed to be his villain or Supergirl's villain? Didn't really understand that. Really wasn't here for it. I wish he had a different story arc. I feel like they don't know what to do with him. And speaking of villains, was not here for Children of Liberty. Was not here for the villain. I felt him. I was not afraid of him. I didn't feel like him. He was a big threat. I mean, he's just a regular human. Wasn't really feeling Agent Liberty. I just zero. That wasn't. Maybe they should have just made Red Dwarf the villain for the whole season, because I was not feeling that guy at all. So the villain gets a big fail. The story that everyone has a problem with is how it's very politicized and how it's following everyday life, which I truly did not mind. I mean, sometimes I felt like, okay, well, that's a bit much, because you kind of want to watch these shows to escape what's going on in your real life, and escape what's really going on in politically, at least here in the United States. So, I mean, I get it, and it's like, just take me somewhere else. They have a plethora of stories, and I said this in my Batwoman trailer reaction, or even in the comments, I think I said it, that Supergirl doesn't really have her own stories and her own identity on this show. They just take Superman's stories and use it for Supergirl, replace Superman and use Supergirl. Like, for the girl that had everything in like the first season, is basically the man that had everything. Superman's story, when the planet got on him and he was like in a utopia where Krypton didn't blow up and all that. So that's all that was. I mean, and they don't really use new stories or come up with anything new. They should be using the comic book as a reference, and not taking Superman's stories and villains word for word, line by line, story by story, and that's nothing. She had Lena Luthor, cool, but then they brought in Lex, and I'm like, that's Superman's villain. Making him Supergirl's villain is not really doing the character justice, in my opinion. And maybe that's another reason why I really wasn't feeling him. Speaking of Lena, she now knows, thanks to Lex, Kara is Supergirl, so she knows Supergirl's real identity. She was upset by it. She played it off, but she was completely upset by it. And obviously, going into next season, that's going to be a huge story, and that may turn Lena completely evil and make her the villain for next season. I mean, Alex lied to her, John lied to her, James lied to her, everyone lied to her. So predictable. I wish they would have just went another route and Kara told her the truth, and she may be kept as a good guy. So I can see them all season trying to struggle, Lena struggling with the back and forth, and them trying to pull her back into the team Supergirl. And speaking of James, his story also all over the place. They don't know what to do with him. I kind of think he was miscast, and not going by race. I'm saying miscast profile characteristic wise. Jimmy Olsen is not some like tall, confident, brooding superhero guy. He is just a little boy photographer, like a young kid photographer. And I feel like the Jeremy who played Wynn would have been perfect for James Olsen role, and maybe the guy playing James, Mr. Brooks, could have been Wynn. You know what I mean? It just reversed them. And so they really don't know what to do with him. And I'm glad that they brought on his sister and they're expanding his family, and maybe next season we get a better story for him. But now with these superpowers, I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, that's all he ever wanted, was to be a superhero and not just be Superman and Supergirl's best friend. But I don't know how I feel about it. So if I had to rate the season overall, looking across the whole entire season from start to finish, I would give the season a C. I'll let it grade as a C. But what did you guys think? Let me know in the comments. As always, can't wait to discuss with you. Until next time, I'm out of here. Big Girl Geek out. Peace.
Hey, where are you going? You just watched a cool video. Subscribe.